What do you really want out of your people? That's just a simple question. If you never communicate it, how would they know? The art of communication is nothing more than setting expectations. And that's what this week's chapter is about, is setting expectations. It's letting those people know what good results look like. How aggravating would it be for you if I never told you what I wanted, but I continuously graded you? It would be aggravating pretty quickly. You would get mad at me and you'd want to quit. You would never get better because all I'm doing is hitting you with a stick. So I don't understand why people don't come in and start off with great communication. I've read some of your posts and discussion board where you talked about how important it is to catch that rookie at that moment and explain to them what you expect of them. This week's chapter is nothing more than a review of the 1 Minute Manager already. We know that we have to set realistic expectations within something that person can achieve. And that's the most important part. It's setting realistic expectations for that person's capabilities at that moment. You may see them as one day becoming the chief of the fire department, but right now, they're a probationary firefighter with a lot of potential. So we're going to start setting small expectations that they can easily get. You know, we may set an expectation of you're going to get your technical rescuer in the next 6 months. Okay, is that a good expectation? Yes, it's measurable. Did you get it in the 6-month period? Yes or no? Perfect example of how to do that. Okay, you're going to continue to set expectations for them all the way through till you've got them ready for the next step. Okay, I had at Belmont, for example, every position has, yearly goals. What will you do in that 12 months? Well, for a rookie, you're probably going to look at a month to 2 months to 3 months at a time. You want to be able to say, okay, here's your projects along the way this year, and give them feedback. That's the hardest thing in the world to do. Sit there and say, hey, good job. But don't just say good job. Give them something they actually did that impressed you. If you feed them positivity, they're going to be a positive person. Okay? Well, what happens if they don't meet the expectation? For example, the person's been there 8 months and they've still not got their technical rescuer. What happened? Well, if the class was not offered in your area, or you couldn't let them off for 2 or 3 days, then it's not their fault. You're going to have to step back and say, okay, here's how we're going to get there, and you're going to have to help them. There are things outside of other people's controls. For all you know, they may be going through a divorce, in which case they couldn't take some of the classes because they have to go to court. That's life. Find out what happened and help them readjust their goals. Don't just set the goal and hit them every time they don't make it. Sometimes you're going to have to adjust and realize it's going to change as their abilities change. My driver operator, maybe they need to be checked off on 3 or 4 other apparatus. Maybe they need to prepare for the captain's test. Whatever they need, set goals, show them what good behavior looks like, and reward it. If you're a leader, half of your job is developing people. The other half is actually responding to calls. That's it. You're developing your people, and you're responding to emergencies. Because in the end, we can't do anything by ourselves forever. You might be able to micromanage for a little while, but you'll wear out. So again, set small, realistic expectations, build upon them. Many great firefighters were started by simply looking at a tool on the truck. If you read Pride and Ownership, you probably remember the example of the captain who made the guy go out every day and shine the brass nozzles. Why did the captain do that? So that the young firefighter would know how many nozzles were on the truck, how they operated, so that when there was an emergency, they were able to grab them quickly and operate efficiently with them. That's the same thing you're doing here. You're setting expectations. I've already read where several of you as captains already jumped to the back seat and allowed other people to ride and make the decisions, letting other people drive for the day. I've actually read one where one of you decided to drive and let the crew make decisions. It's a great idea. You're letting them make judgment calls. But before that, you showed them what good behavior looks like because you were already in the position. And this is the biggest piece of advice I can give any leader. Be the example. Your book starts out, this chapter, talking about how you have to set expectations for yourself. And that's the one thing we usually fail to do. Most of you are the exception to the rule right now because you're working on a degree. You're working on certifications, and you're moving forward. Never settle. Always expect more out of yourself, and you'll get more than you ever thought. Again, set your expectations, and you'll achieve. Have a great day, and I'll see you shortly.